Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for quarterfinal number 3 of the SYDNEY Sevens. We already know two sides that have booked themselves their spot in the semi-final fixtures, one of which is New Zealand. They are on the other side of the draw. This side of the draw, we already know that it will be South Africa advancing to the semi-finals, and the winner of this game between Fiji and Great Britain, they will be joining them for these semi-finals in Sydney. But looking through, first of all, at the starting lineup of the Flying Fijians, they have gone with a strong side, and they are going to be as follows. It will be Joshua Vakunarabili, a very big individual, very good with the offloading game and also luring in defenders. Something Great Britain will have to make sure that they don't fall for. Jerry Tawai, huge amount of experience there for the Fijians, and will certainly be hoping to use that to his advantage. Alongside him, Tavita Dalgunu, Waisia Thungu. He is brilliant in any playoff situation, and this is one of those perfect games for him. Manueli Moisamoa, one of the outstanding players from Fiji over the last couple of legs. Another Valo, always scoring tries. And then also Patirarenga. He had a good game in the last matchup. We'll be looking to continue their momentum. Looking at Great Britain, it will be Morgan Williams, Jamie Barton, Bavadra, McFarland, Robbie Ferguson, Tom Emery, and also Freddie Roddick, the last man for Team GB. We have got Bulla, kia ora, hello, says Nate, and also Tosaviti from Rithik, Go Fiji, Go, says Lewa and Fiji on top, and also Go Fiji, Thrash, Great Britain from Barat there. And hello, says Amira, welcome in, hope you are doing well. They're showing the Australians warming up for their upcoming quarterfinal where they will be playing France, and the winner of that game goes on to face New Zealand in the other semi-final. So far, we do know that Ireland, they have lost their game. Samoa have lost their game. So the loser of this game will be facing up against Ireland in a 5th place playoff game. So be interesting to see who makes their way through to that point. And Tosso Vititoso says best Apex player ever in the chat. As well, looking through at the benches, it will be Jeremiah Matana, Mofino Thangi, Nauduva, Drava, Bukayaro, and also Ioani Teba. So they will be using as many of those players as they physically can. Substitutes for Great Britain consist of Alex Davis, Paddy Kelly, Tom Williams, Kalen Barreto. I'm looking forward to seeing him in action. And then also it is Will Homer, the last man for GB. We have got Tosaviti Toso now at Fiji. What time will the final be tomorrow? Go Fiji all the way. So the final of the men's sevens tomorrow. I will mention first of all the semi-finals. If the team that wins this is Fiji, they would be playing South Africa, and that would be taking place at 6:28 p.m. New Zealand time. Same for if GB end up winning this game. And then the final is going to be taking place from 10:26 onwards, with the bronze final at 9:30 New Zealand time. So plenty of excitement for one more day of sevens. It's taking place tomorrow. I cannot wait to see it happen. And this game is another one I've been looking forward to for a little while, mainly because Team Great Britain here, they've had some pretty decent form. They were able to beat Argentina, who were the defending champs. They were close up against the Australians, but did get taken down in the end. And whereas Fiji, they have not lost a game yet, and they are looking to continue that winning momentum. I've just seen that they've taken a player out of the lineup, have they? What's just happened here? I think they've had a little bit of a reshuffle, and one of those players that I originally mentioned is no longer going to be coming off the bench. I don't know who it was, though, that they decided to take out of there. But the names have compacted to just one less. Why Great Britain and England are same or different, why they play separately. For some reason in the sevens, they've decided to have Team GB rather than having England, Scotland, Wales, etc. So the reason behind it, I believe, is maybe to add more teams onto the seven circuit. You're the best of the best, says Barat Devi. Appreciate that, mate. So Great Britain, they did lose to Australia, 12 points to 7, but they beat Argentina, 26 to 19, and then they won up against Canada, 33 points to 5, whereas Fiji, they dominated up against Tonga, 52 points to 7. They dominated up against Japan, 54-0, and then they didn't quite dominate up against France. They pushed them to the limit, but they were able to win that game, 19 points to 12, the Fijians. Going to be the Uruguayan referee Gonzalez in charge of this one. Fiji should win. They are favourites to win this contest, and there's a little bit of a rumor going around that Fiji should be able to win this game by 21 or more points. So we will have to wait and see if that is actually the case. But do let me know your score predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, Fiji with Nathunu. He will be kicking this game off. And I believe they're going to be throwing someone straight at Great Britain to try and get that ball back. But ladies and gentlemen, the third quarterfinal is here in Sydney on a beautiful night at Allianz Stadium. It's gone up long from Fiji. Different tactic, but it's going to bounce. Nicely taken, but a good shot to the spine of the number 20. Who was that? I think it was McFarland, in fact. We did have that ball. Another big shot from Fiji. I see my son Moy actually wearing headgear for this game, which he didn't have in the last match. Now running hard. Great Britain. The Fijians end up taking each other out. Brilliant run. Finds the offload as well, but this time it's going to be knocked on by the number 13. Number 33, Jamie Barton, sorry. Going through here. Great Britain. Good position early on in this contest, but straight over the ball. The veteran, Jerry Tuwai. He was penalised twice in the last game for that exact same manoeuvre. So I guess it just depends on who is blowing the whistle. Depends on if Jerry Tuwai gets 2 turnovers or ends up conceding the 2 penalties. Vakura Billy finds his offload as always. Now going out wide. Nathungu looks across, gives it to Mai Samoa, who will now look to go straight up the middle. Tackled nicely by Team GB, but Nadovalo is in support, and he will score the try for Fiji. They strike first in Sydney. 1 minute 10 is all it took. Nadovalo's winded himself by the looks of it, but Fiji will take the lead. Fiji all the way, says Suliasi, and also Fiji on top. All the way, let's go. And also good luck, Britain. Let's go flying, says Blues Nate. Also predicting underdogs GB to win, says Coding there. And also for Fiji, ever Fiji. A brilliant offload. Nadovalo. I think something that sometimes gets underestimated is how brilliant he is at being in support. Hoping for an upset GB to win, says Darlene there. And also we get that Fiji is too strong, or so strong, says Coding. Nadovalo scoring another try for the Fijians. That kick is successful. So now Fiji, they do lead this game 7-0. Even though the scoreboard doesn't say so, we know that that's the case. Hopefully the scoreboard updates soon. But Nadovalo, the first try scorer for Fiji. And also Fiji 21-15, says Brandon for his score prediction. 5 minutes left of the half. Early strike from the Fijians. But now it's all about backing it up with another big shot. Nathungu about to kick this one off. Taking plenty of time here. I think it might be due to, what are we waiting for? We were waiting for an injury of some sort, I believe. Also more Fiji, more. Says Viniana, it's kicked up high. And nicely taken by Robbie Ferguson. Inside of his 22. Tries to find an offload, but the man wasn't quite ready for it. I think he apologises in the end, but it is now going to be Fiji with the scrum feed inside of the GB 22. Great Britain have not made the semi-final for a long time. They've just put up on the screen. Yeah, trying to find the offload to his teammate Jamie Barton, and England making silly mistakes, says John. And there as well, yeah, the main thing up against Fiji is you cannot afford to allow them any sort of possession. Any more than 50%, Fiji normally win a game. But if you can cut them down only around that 35 or 40%, that's when you start to have a little bit of that advantage go in your favour. And now off the back, Nathunu. Wide pass. Here it comes again. Nathungu almost through, but instead goes off to Jerry Tuwai. Now Nadovalo, close to the touchline, so has to offload it back in. Now Mai Samoa. Numbers here for Fiji. Vakura Billy up the middle. And he's been wrestled down there. I don't think the Great British player wanted to start a fight with him after Vakura Billy was looking for him, but it is going to be another try for Fiji. Is it 5 or 0? Says Barat. It is actually currently 12-0, but the scoreboard is asleep, sadly, which is very annoying for this big matchup. So hopefully it either updates soon or we will do some updating of our own on a makeshift scoreboard that we make. In fact, we're going to do that. Fiji sitting on, I believe that will be 14 points to 0 up against GB. We're going to go like this until our scoreboard starts to update itself. There we go. That's the scoreboard in the bottom corner. It's still not updating, that one. So we've got this. This is our scoreboard just for now until that one decides that it wants to work. Hopefully it does soon. But it is now going to be Nathungu once again kicking off. But a great start to this match for Fiji. 14 points on the board to the 0 of Team GB. Kicks off again. Robbie Ferguson has to wait for it. It sits up nicely for him. And Great Britain, from deep inside of their own territory, will have to try and make their way forward. Morgan Williams, his first carry of the day that we've accounted for. Now, Bavadra down the wing. Dangerous runner. In fact, it's Sofalaran who's still got a Bavadra. No, it was Bavadra. I kind of cancelled out because they said a different name. So I thought that I was wrong, but I actually had the name right the first time. Now, Morgan Williams again going forward. Up the Fijian, says your mum. That was an awesome run down the sideline, says John. Now a big bump off from Bavadra again. 2 minutes left in the first half. And still, Great Britain yet to score themselves a try in this match. Morgan Williams goes forward again. Available at the back. Jamie Barden, bounce pass. Now a step nicely from Max McFarland. Round a couple players. He's got the tongue out. He knows he's scoring. And Max McFarland does get himself the try. And that will make the score a little bit closer. We're going to have to update it ourselves again because this one, it is sleeping. I believe we'll say it's an easy enough kick, so I'm going to award him the 7 points, but I might have to change it. The scoreboard was fine last match, which I think makes it worse. Maybe they were supporting Ireland and they've walked out of the office because they did lose to South Africa. That could be it. And a great step from Max McFarland. That New Zealand game was tough, but they've done it. Best of luck for the semis, says Creeper Rains there. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Whoever they end up playing, Australia or France, both have beaten New Zealand multiple times in the past. Should be a good game. I'm looking forward to seeing Samoa, though, take on whoever loses that matchup between France and Australia. I think that will also be an absolutely awesome one. Maybe if it's France, because France have beaten Samoa recently. So it would be quite cool to see Samoa get one back on them. And hope 7-14 is correct, says John. Right, they're going to go for the scrum. Fiji have lost their last 2 cup quarterfinals after winning the cup title in Hong Kong. The most recent was up against Argentina, but currently they do lead 14 points to 7. Probably not as comfortable of a lead as Fiji would be after. There's a lot of talking going on in the front rows. The British accent, of course, coming from GB. And I'm not too sure what the Fijian front row said. But I'm pretty sure they would have said something along the lines of, let's drive these fellows backwards. They stay solid. Ball out the back. Jerry Tuwai. Now goes off to Nadovalo again. He's already scored 1 try in the contest. Would love to get himself another one. Natungu goes back across. Currently Fiji back to the halfway line. So losing a few meters for Kurabili. Doing nicely there. And I think that was Batirarenga. Now my Samoa has got the option on the outside if he wants to go to Batirarenga. He goes on the inside to him. Now Fens doesn't find the offload, but my Samoa joins the breakdown nicely. Now dropping to a knee, Jerry Tuwai to be able to take that catch. Nadovalo once again considers attacking the line. Nathungu steps around the tackle attempt of Tom Emery. Still going Nathungu. Someone's got to stop him. He gives it to my Samoa. Almost gets there. They're going to have to check this one as he did a big reach out at the line. And also, yes, GB, you can do it, says Daleen there as well. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We normally have a working scoreboard, I will mention, but this is our one down the bottom at the moment that we have been updating. Question for you, Hamish. Who is your team in the final? Says Brandon. I think final-wise, if Fiji win this game, I think we're going to see Fiji versus no. That's short of the line, unfortunately, for my Samoa, knocking that ball on. Yeah, I think we're going to see Fiji versus maybe New Zealand as that final match, but I could also see South Africa, New Zealand as an option. And how much money the team who will get wins the competition. I don't think you get so much as like player prize money per se, but I'm sure they'll get some sort of reward or bonus for their club. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, of course. Short, says Johnny, was indeed. Just short of the line. No try. There was a high tackle from Robbie Ferguson, but it had no effect on the outcome of scoring a try. Although, wouldn't you, to a certain extent, say that if it had no effect on him scoring a try, never mind. I was just going to question it, but I don't think we will. It's going to be a penalty for Fiji. They decide to go for the scrum. Only a couple meters out from their line. It wins this final, bruh, says a soldier. It is going to be tomorrow night at about 10:30 p.m. New Zealand time. In fact, no, it might actually be 10 p.m. I'll just quickly have another look at that time. It is going to be at 10:26 New Zealand time is when the final's taking place. It should be an awesome match. And the semi-finals are at about 6 p.m. tomorrow New Zealand time too. So should be exciting contests. Currently a minute past the moment, and they are looking to once again go for their scrum here. Fiji, it looks a little bit wayward. They have men going in all sorts of different directions. Rush defense from GB doesn't work out. My son Moa finds his offload. And if Fiji can get this one wide, they've got the advantage as well. All they need to do is get it to Notovalo, who then finds the offload to Nathunu, and he reaches out and scores it. Right near the touchline, Nathunu scores again for Fiji. You wouldn't think it. The worst thing is, it's updating the time. It's just not doing the score. So we're doing it in the bottom corner. We'll go like this. We'll go like this. We'll assume that this kick won't go over for a start anyway, till proven otherwise. But Fiji, this is our scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, because that one don't want to work. When's the finals? It is going to be at 10:26 p.m. tomorrow night. And also, we have got there come on Fiji. Yes, says Viniana, sorry, I should say. Fiji, the crowd in attendance, absolutely loving seeing them cross the line there again. Tough drop kick attempt. It's got the distance, just a little bit off to the left-hand side, and that will be the end of the first half. The score, there we go. It's realised the game has started. We'll take our one away, and we'll go like this. There we go. And also, are you manually doing the scoreboard? That one down there I had to type it out, but that one's an automatic one. That we do use the scoreboard guy at the moment, was the scoreboard guy unavailable at the moment? Yeah, one job, and the scoreline is shown on Google. Says Barrett there in the chat as well. But 3 visits to the opposition, 22 for Fiji, and 3 tries have been scored. Missed tackles, though. Both sides missing 5, but a key there is Fiji have made 8 tackles, whereas Great Britain have only made 2. So Great Britain tackling at a very low percentage at the moment, whereas Fiji still just over that 50%. That was a big yawn. But more carries from Fiji in this one. You'd have to think if they continue the way they did in that first half, they should be able to get themselves over the line, but you never know. Great Britain already closer than a lot of people thought that they may have been in this matchup. And go Fiji, go Tosa Fiti Tosa, East or West Fiji is the best. And also Fiji too good, says John, and Fiji on top, says your mum. Do you have a name other than your mum? Out of curiosity. At the moment, they are playing 5,000 miles at the ground. They've had a very good array of songs. I believe they were playing a bit of Sweet Caroline, and the crowd did the whole verse, even though they had finished the music. They also before had a little bit of the Lion King, bit of Elton John in there. And also we got there, go Fiji, go, says Alisamiri. Hopefully I've said that correctly, but I think I might have got it wrong. No, says Great Britain, says Bamankas. And also, are these still happening in Hamilton, $100 venue? So these are actually in Sydney, but they are also charging about $80 or so to get them for a day. So it's still quite expensive to be able to go to the Sevens, but yeah, a little bit cheaper than it was in Sydney. That's a knock on from Vikunara Billy. So that is going to be GB, who do get themselves a scrum feed early on in the second half. I will mention there is just one game to go in the Sevens quarterfinals. After this one, it will be France versus Australia. The winner of that contest will go on to face New Zealand. The winner of this contest is going to be going on to face South Africa. I wonder who gave your mum their name, says John. Probably their grandma and their granddad. Yeah. Jokes. Like jokes. You right, says Alison Mary. And all the way there, thick. He's got the laughing in there. Now Ferguson. Going to be feeding the ball in 6.5 minutes left. And GB, they need another try. Max McFarland, he was actually the first try scorer. Step around beautifully, ripped away from Fiji in the breakdown. They are a menace when it comes to being able to get that ball back for their side. Nathungu goes back across now for the Fijians. Using it nicely. My Samoa, Nadovalo on the outside, cuts back inwards, and they can hardly touch him. If they were playing touch rugby, that man was almost going to be able to get himself a try. But Dalgunu also out there on the field. He has been out there the whole time, but we haven't really seen him too often. And yep, their mum's parents, says John there. Now Nathungu, once again, dangerous. Offload on the inside. It was a Bati Rarenga who did have that ball. Counter right from GB. Being told to use no hands. He's fallen on his face, and that is going to be the penalty. No, and actually the way of GB, I thought that they were saying no hands against Great Britain. Pass out wide, drop ball just a little bit too far out in front. South Africa's waiting for you, Fiji. Says Darlene, New Zealand versus Fiji in the semis. Says Spider-Man, not quite. They do play on the other side of the draw, so it's either New Zealand versus France or Australia. Well, they're upcoming one. And Fiji says your mum. And Fiji and South Africa, game to watch, says Blues. Yeah, that'll be an epic one when they do go head-to-head. And it's coming up relatively soon, if that is the case. It's going to be a tomorrow afternoon game. I haven't worked out what time I'm waking up tomorrow yet. I have to see what games are taking place when and decide if I'm going to be sleeping until the afternoon. Might depend on what time I get to bed tonight. But Jerry Tuai taking some deep breaths at the moment. It's been quite a quick-paced game between these two sides and probably a little bit closer than some people would have anticipated. I mentioned that the rumour was that Fiji were going to win it by 21 plus. There's still time on the clock, of course, but the scrum feed now for Fiji. 30 metres out from Great Britain's line. Ball comes out for Jerry Tuai. Another penalty goes their way, the Fijians. Robbie Ferguson calling some big shots here at the moment for his side. I see that. Alex Davis also now out on the field. New Zealand versus France, my guess. But Australia will be hard for the French, says John. Who's up against Fiji in the semis, so that will be South Africa. So if Fiji win this game, they go on to face South Africa. If Great Britain go on to win this game, they also face South Africa. The loser of this contest goes on to face Ireland. And Australia 17, France 14 final score. Says Rick for the prediction. Now my Samoa got the options on the outside. They've actually stacked that top side of the field, but they haven't decided to use it too often here for the Fijians. But now my Samoa gets close, gets back up to his feet, ties over the line, and scores it. Unfortunately, one of those players that if you don't hold him down, he's just going to keep on getting back up to his feet and keep on driving. It's another try for the Fijians, the fourth for him in Sydney. And now you'd like to think that that almost secures the deal for the Flying Fijians here. It wasn't held, is allowed to go again at the line and does just that. Drives himself over my Samoa. Dives, slams it down. And how long till the game finishes? Says your mum. It's currently sitting with 4 minutes left on the clock. By the time this kick is taken, probably about 3.5 minutes. Looking forward to the semi-final tomorrow, Mr. Hamish. Says Viniana. That's a brilliant kick as well from the touchline for the Fijians. And that looks like it was the last thing that my Samoa will be doing out on the field today. My Samoa on a roll. He is definitely right up there for one of the players of the tournament, I would say. And in fact, there's quite a long list for this tournament. Some players in Sydney have been going extremely well and making up for a short try attempt before, says Blues Nate. Yeah, ended up getting those few extra meters, driving through the tackles of GB. Ball's gone up. Ball's been knocked on. But GB able to clean it up now. Waiting for this ball to come out the back. Here comes Ferguson for Great Britain. They'd need 3 successfully converted tries in the next 3 minutes. So that'll be very tricky to do. It's going to be a penalty to GB, though. They take the quick tap. Robbie Ferguson. It looks like they haven't given up. They still think that they've got a shot of getting a little bit closer. Will Homer. Good tackle made on him on the halfway line. Now Sofalarin. Back across. In fact, Sofalarin is not playing. I believe I was meant to say Kalen Barreto. And Fiji all the way. Now Ferguson goes to Homer. Numbers on the outside once again. Here comes Williams for Team GB. Can he find the offload? Not quite. But now Homer goes across to the left-hand side here again. I believe Team GB might have 1 or 2 extra players on this left-hand side if they decide to go there. Or sorry, the right, I meant. And now going down the wing, Morgan Williams just taken down again. Redo flings it across. Will Homer with the step, goes through, scores the try. And now they get back into the match just a little bit more for Great Britain. Can Australia beat France? Anyone rooting for Great Britain is one of those. And also, let's go Fiji, says Viniana. And also, Vanaka boys, let's go Fiji, says Alisamiri there. Will Homer getting through the gap. Still very slippery out there by the looks of it. So players in the last game between France and Australia will have to take that into consideration. But they've gone the 10 metres. Hasn't worked out, though. Fiji were able to clean it up. It was a cheeky tactic, Richie Moonga-esque from the Great Britain side. Of course, Richie did it in Super Rugby a while ago for the Crusaders. Fijians now back in possession. There's a ruck formed, and they've been able to counter-ruck it. So Great Britain get the ball back. Is there a late tail in this matchup? They've got 90 seconds left to score twice. Now, pass on the outside. Warhomer down the wing. Bukiato's cut him off beautifully. Now back on the inside. Warhomer breaks through. He's been on fire, but he's going to be caught that time. Just slammed to the ground by Fiji. Penalty goes the way of the Flying Fijians as well for side entry. That might use up just enough time on the clock for Fiji to be able to close out this one. And Soldier King, warning, says Viniana in there as well. Slam down to the turf, Fiji. One thing's for sure, they're going to play a physical game of rugby. Go Fiji, says Eleonora in there as well. But now 40 seconds left on the clock. Fiji, they'd love to get themselves one more try just to work themselves towards a big win heading into their semi-final up against South Africa. That's going to be a massive match, and it is taking place tomorrow afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. That will be taking place at the exact time of, it will be, I believe, it is 4:28 for that matchup. Now, down the wing again, Fiji. Oh, wrestled down by his collar. Notovalo. Back across. 5 seconds left on the clock. Now, Fiji aren't the kind of side that would just kick this ball out. They'll look for one last attack. Looking for the offload. Slap backwards again. Oh, he does kick it out, Bukiato. Okay. It's an interesting one, but I can understand it. You don't want to risk any injuries near the end of this game. But Fiji victorious. 26 points to 14. They will be going through to the semi-finals to take on South Africa. What should be a very exciting matchup. And the next live stream that we have got, ladies and gentlemen, it will be Australia versus France. Another very awesome matchup to be able to watch in South Africa. There's the Fiji semi-final tomorrow. Says Viniana. And congratulations, Fiji. Says Amira there. And well, better luck next time, GB. And well, GG. Says Rithik there. Yeah, still a very decent effort from the Great British side. So South Africa, Fiji, actually both having very similar scorelines. South Africa winning 26 points to 12. Fiji winning 26 points to 14. And now, France versus Australia, the final match of the night. We will be back for that one in only a couple minutes' time. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're on the road to 22,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, it is very hugely appreciated. But thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll see you all in about 2 minutes' time for France versus Australia.